lost an eye and a kidney, but he gonna be okay. Scrappy led the game. He know how it works. Scrappy soldier, Kanan. Battle tested, built on these streets. He gonna be aight.
So in the last episode, we're going to see the return of One-Eyed Scrappy, and he's going to be back to help Kanan. And even though these are two characters who have never really seen eye to eye, this could be the start of their relationship, and one where Scrappy mentors Kanan, and he is someone who can teach Kanan what really goes down in the streets and on the corners, because this is something Raquel is far away from, being high up away from the streets, and something Marvin or Lou don't get involved in either. So this is where Scrappy comes in for Kanan and for Raquel as well, the street savviness that Scrappy has, and how Rack described him. This is what he can learn from Scrappy. But one question that still needs to be answered in my opinion is, does Unique and Worrell think Scrappy is dead? Because if it actually turns out they think he is dead, then Worrell better watch his back. So Scrappy, Kanan and Worrell is the talk of today's video. But of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related. But let's talk about Scrappy's return and his role going forward, because he was a character that a lot of people thought was dead at the end of episode 6 when Worrell and Unique's crew left him on Raquel's porch. They knew this was a move by Rack, and let's just say it really didn't end well for Scrappy. We've seen how he's lost one eye and he's lost a kidney as well, and you have to say, for someone that suffered that much of a beatdown but managed to survive and recover, this is going to be one tough character to put down. Raquel even said that Scrappy lives the game, he knows how it works, he's battle tested, and he's someone who's built on these streets. So as I said, this is going to be one tough character going into season 2, and we're now going to see even more so after what Worrell did to him, and we're going to get to Scrappy's revenge later on in this video. But first we're going to talk about Scrappy helping Kanan. Now for whatever reason, Kanan doesn't exactly do what Raquel told him to do, 2 shots in the chest and 1 in the head, because we saw Detective Howard being taken into a hospital, so something stopped him from taking that headshot. Whether someone saw Kanan, who knows. Now there are 2 issues for Kanan right now. He failed to carry out the task of killing Detective Howard, and 2, the streets are going to be way too hot after this shooting. There's going to be police circling around the area and a chopper as well, and Kanan is going to need the help from Scrappy to get out of this sticky situation. We saw Scrappy telling Kanan that it's looking mad heated right about now, because there's going to be police everywhere, and Kanan probably has the best person to come to rescue him in this situation, because Scrappy is a character who knows how to stick and move. So coming back to the beginning of the video where I mentioned that Scrappy has skills that he can teach Kanan that Raquel and Marvin can't, this is what he can teach him, this street savviness. He's battle tested and built on these streets, just like Raquel said, and he knows how these streets work. He knows how to stick and move and evade the police, just like we saw in episode 3, which was titled Stick and Move. And at the beginning of that episode, Detective Howard was living up to the promise that he made to Unique about making him the king of the kingdom, and he was sweeping up on Raquel's corners. Everybody was picked up, apart from Scrappy, who managed to escape from the clutches of Detective Howard. And this is what I mean about him being able to stick and move, and this is something that he can teach Kanan in this situation, how to evade the police and what to do when your back is really against the wall with the police closing in on you. Something that Scrappy can teach him, being built on these streets, he'd know his way around. And maybe this is where the bodega comes in, and Juliana once again, just like we saw in the trailer. They have this safe house at the bodega, which Raquel reinforced, and maybe this is where Scrappy could bring Kanan, a place where they could hide until the dust settles. But either way, Raquel is going to have to get Kanan into hiding after what she asked him to do, and she's going to ask Scrappy to help her get the job done. And this is what we learned about Scrappy from his character description at the beginning of the season. We're about to see this street savviness and loyalty to his crew, which is Raquel and the Thomases. We're going to see him helping Kanan, and this is why he was never going to die this season, because he's going to play a key role in the Thomas organization in season 2, especially because of his loyalty, what he can do in the streets, but more importantly, he listens to what Raquel says. Now Raquel told Kanan in episode 2 that everybody starts small. Defcon put her in the stash house to see if she would listen, to see if she would do as told. And this is the same technique that she used on Scrappy as well. She made him start at the bottom of the food chain, got in the stash house, watching TV all day, being bored as hell. But this is what you have to do to gain Raquel's trust. We then saw Scrappy on the streets, we saw him being arrested and even being planted into Unique's organization, because Raquel trusted him to follow her instructions through, because he's someone who does what he's told. And he even warned Lou that he was about to be hit at the showcase, and took one for the team when he was left almost dead on Raquel's porch. So Scrappy has shown nothing but loyalty, heart and toughness, and even burning Tony's dog for Raquel in the very first episode. So he's going to be one character who rival gangs should now fear, because he's going to be even more scarier going into season 2. And the reason why I think he's going to have an increased role to play for Raquel, Kanan and the Thomas organization, because I'm not so sure Lou wants to stay in the game after what happened to him in episode 8. We're going to see him recovering and asking questions about Raquel's decision making and what moves she's about to make. And he's Raquel's right hand man for a reason. He questions when she needs to be questioned, and he's a voice of reason. But if Lou doesn't want to be in the game, as some of us expect him to try and come out of the game and focus more on music, this is where a gap will appear in the Thomas organization which Scrappy could fill. So going into season 2, I don't think he's just going to be a mentor to Kanan, but he's someone who is going to rise in the ranks of the Thomas organization and someone who rival gangs should definitely fear. And one question that I asked at the beginning of this video was whether or not Unique and Worrell think he's dead or alive, because if Worrell does think he's dead, then Scrappy is going to turn up and be one hell of a surprise for him. So one person who should definitely watch his back is Worrell, because he's the one responsible for what happened to Scrappy, and you can bet that he's going to be back for revenge sooner or later. Although I don't think it's going to happen in the next episode. I think Worrell will survive and somehow make it into season 2. I likened his character to that of Dre. Dre was someone who had more than 9 lives on power and definitely earned his death more than once. Worrell is someone who has evaded a few attacks and caused some serious damage to 2 of Raquel's men in Lou and Scrappy, and he was also someone that was ready to take on Marvin outside Lou's house, not even flinching at the car coming towards him at speed. So he's someone who I do think the Thomas organization will definitely take seriously. And although he's not much of a decision maker within Unique's organization, because Unique makes all the calls and all the decisions, he's still second in command, and if Unique does get arrested and is taken to prison, then this is where we could really see Worrell step up and take charge. As we've seen before, when Ruiz was killed, Poncho then became the leader of the Soldado Nation. Poncho was killed by Tommy because he told Tommy that he wasn't shit without Ghost, so then he put Roberto in charge, who by the way is returning in Power Book 2 Ghost Season 2 according to IMDb. But even if Unique is taken out, either killed off or taken to prison, the threat of Worrell still exists. But I also do think he could be someone who could betray Unique as well. How I likened him to Dre, this is exactly what we saw Dre doing, playing both sides with Kanan and Ghost and really doing what's best for himself, eventually becoming distro. So although I think Worrell needs to be dealt with, I can see him being a threat for a very long time on Raising Kanan, and someone who we need to be wary of. But just before we wrap up this video, did Kanan really screw up, or did someone or something distract him from finishing the job on Detective Howard? And is Raquel really going to win this war? The trailer makes it seem like a straightforward win for her, but I don't think it's going to be as straightforward, because if Detective Howard does survive and wakes up, he's going to come calling for that bone marrow transplant and that favor from Rack to keep his mouth shut, knowing that it was Kanan who shot him. So this could definitely be a huge problem for both Raquel and Kanan, so I do think there's going to be a lot more twists and turns to come, that's for sure. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Let me know what you think about One-Eyed Scrap's return, because he could play a key role for Kanan and Rack going forward, not just in the final episode, but him rising the ranks in the Thomas organization in season 2. Drop all your comments down below, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.